The Slam Pigs Podcast.
Wednesday night, June the 8th. This is Slam Pigs Podcast, NXT TakeOver Post Show, The End. Our first ever post show. And who's along with me, as always? Mike, how you doing? We just watched NXT TakeOver. Came out of it a lot better than watching most WWE pay-per-views, as I usually do with them. Mike, welcome to the show. How you been this week? How's it going?
Had a good week. That's all I got to say about that.
Blunt, right to the point. Do you want to get into the show real quick, or
Let's get into it.
Well, let's talk about a couple things happening this week first. It won't just be a straight up post show. We'll dabble in Raw. It was worth just a dabble in.
Yeah, a little dabbling. I actually watched the whole Raw this week. I was proud of myself. All 3 hours.
Live as it happened.
Yeah.
Because you didn't watch YouTube this time.
No.
Oh, I thought you watched YouTube.
No, I watched it live. I was bored on a Monday night.
Do it live.
Yep. I was flipping back and forth between the ball game and yeah. But yep. Watch me some Raw. It was okay. I mean, some good matches. I wish they could learn how to tell some better stories as far as feuds and lead-ups to pay-per-views, but that's a whole other issue. In general, we could take up a whole show with just that.
Probably make a 2-parter on that 3-parter trilogy.
But as far as Raw went, there were some really good matches on it. I mean, you got to see a showcase of all 6 guys that are in the Money in the Bank match, all in singles matches against each other. The Cesaro Jericho match led off Raw. It was a goodie. It was a goodie. Made Jericho tap out to the sharpshooter.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little tribute to Brett there. But then you had, was it Del Rio?
Yeah. Del Rio and Sami
Yeah.
Zayn. Del Rio won clean.
Yeah.
Surprising?
I guess he's got to win at some point to make him credible in the match.
Right. You think he's a sleeper in the match, or you just think he's there? Collect a check.
To be honest, I have no idea who's going to win this match. I think it could go so many different ways with the Money in the Bank match.
I remember Lee's suggestion. He thought Jericho.
Yeah.
And actually, that makes sense, too.
I mean, I think they could all make sense, possible, especially with the brand split and everything. Anything could make sense with this match, no matter who wins. I mean, my favorite would obviously be Kevin Owens, even though he lost on Raw clean to Dean Ambrose.
Yeah. I think it will be Ambrose.
You think Ambrose? Those would be my 2 front runners for the match, but you know how they do with the Money in the Bank. They like to surprise you.
I see.
Like, did we pick Sheamus last year? No.
I think it's going to be No, nobody picked Sheamus.
No.
And why would you?
So.
And you saw how well that panned out.
Yeah, I mean, he cashed it in. He held
Somehow, we have 2 of the Shield guys for the world title right now. There's no reason the 3rd Shield guy, because they're all equally as talented, for the most part. Not promo-wise. We see that when Rollins goes promo to promo with Reigns every week, who's superior. But I think it'll end up being maybe a cash-in if this goes out to SummerSlam, if Ambrose wins. I don't know. Probably succeed. Turning on Roman. I see it happening that way. And I just think you have a feud with all 3 guys. Triple threats for the belt.
I think if they give it to Ambrose in this match, it would almost contribute to his failure. He could be one of those guys that goes to cash in and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I think just with Ambrose, he's always so close, never gets there.
I think, though, like all the losses on pay-per-view over the past year, I think he's way overdue, and I think management had like a plan all along. I'd like to think this is going to pan out for Ambrose.
Yeah,
but do you think they'll shock the world and maybe do a Cesaro?
That's what I would like to see that.
That would be awesome.
I mean, Cesaro getting a big belt on him would be long overdue. Especially, I love his new character. We don't talk about his new character.
The GoldenEye.
You don't like it?
I love it.
I
love it.
It's
they have the James Bond thing.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I mean, and you actually get to hear him talk more on a microphone. They always felt like he needed a mouthpiece, maybe because he's foreign, and they didn't think he was ready to talk.
Well, as Vince said in the
he doesn't have it.
Yeah.
He doesn't have it, Vince? Well, what is it? Because I've heard him talk on the mic here the past few weeks since his new character's been unveiled.
Not doing bad.
And he definitely sounds confident. He says some pretty entertaining stuff. He had some good jokes on Jericho on Raw.
Yeah. He's not exactly Laurence Olivier on the mic.
No, I mean, he's not The Rock or anything, but he's a lot better than he used to be. And I can't name many guys that are better in the ring than him.
Oh, no.
In the
it
company
seems,
right now.
with the James Bond thing, it seems like, okay, it's something. They have some sort of character development for the guy.
I'm glad they finally gave him a chance on his own. Like, I thought the Paul Heyman thing with him could have worked, but they scrapped that real quick for some reason.
Could be talking about a whole different world of wrestling right now if they would have kept that together.
I think it could have worked. But as far as he goes, I think the biggest issue with Cesaro is always going to be, can he stay healthy?
Yeah. As
And
most of the roster.
And do you want to put the money in the bank on somebody that's injury prone? That's why I see it more of like a Kevin Owens or an Ambrose winning, because
They never get injured.
they stay healthy. They're always in the ring.
And they're really good at selling. Like in a match, I'm like, is he really injured?
Yeah.
Especially, remember that spot Owens took in the ladder at Mania on his neck?
Yeah.
We were like, and he wasn't moving. He sold that beautifully.
He was there next night on Raw.
We'll see what next week on Raw. We'll see what happens with the Money in the Bank guys and where they go
But
with that.
besides that, the only other thing.
Well, there was something I want to talk about on Raw. Sorry to
Okay.
cut you off. The lowest point of Raw. What's happening to the women's division? Dana Brooke is at the side of Charlotte. First of all, Charlotte's promo about Flair, it was so stupid. And are they booking her like a face or a heel?
Yeah, make up your mind.
She's made like, I still love my dad or
Yeah.
something. What? You just like reamed him out the week. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Where's Sasha fucking Banks?
Well, as far as the Dana Brooks situation goes, you can tell that they just had to find something for her real quick since Emma went down. Because if she was originally brought up, she was brought up with Emma. But now that Emma got injured, they had to find something for her to do because they brought her up to the main roster with the intentions of keeping her there.
Yeah.
So they put her with Charlotte. She doesn't talk. She stands there. She's supposed to be some kind of intimidating force.
When she does talk a little bit, but I wish she hadn't.
Yeah, it's not good. But I mean, as far as women go, how many women in the division cut a good promo?
True.
I mean, yes, there are a lot better workers in the women's division.
Well, let's run it down. You got, this is my house. And
Yeah.
you got, I'm Charlotte.
Yeah.
And then you got Becky Lynch.
You got Becky Lynch, who's full of dog duty.
And then you got Sasha Banks, the total package. But as it goes with...
Where has she been?
Healing from a concussion still. Talked about it last week. Remember the rumor of
Can I
Sasha
give
Banks?
me some Sasha?
Vince feels that she might be injury prone. Female Daniel Bryan thinks she's too reckless in the ring.
You mean
So-
entertaining?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not like what we saw with Nia Jax. And God bless Asuka for pulling what she could out of that match. But we'll get to that a little later. The women's segment was awful. The best part of Raw by far, the back and forth promo. And I'll give the devil his due. When the man cuts a good promo, he cuts a good promo. When he cuts a bad one, it's awful. John Cena cut a hell of a promo, and so did AJ Styles. AJ Styles actually said buried. The word buried came up on WWE programming.
Mm-hmm.
John Cena slipped, I think, and said Bullet Club. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I
he
did
said
hear
Bullet
that.
Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they were too happy about that since Japan still owns the rights and they still use it.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But that was probably the
Spit
best
on myself
segment.
a little bit.
That was definitely the best segment on Raw as far as non-wrestling. I enjoyed the back and forth there. It gave Styles a chance to talk a little bit more. You know, when you think he's a little lackluster on the microphone, if you give him...
Heel him.
Yeah, if you give him something where he can show himself, everybody knows backstage he's a great guy, God-loving,
God-loving.
Christian. Everybody loves AJ Styles as a person. But
Yeah.
when you make him a heel, that gives him a chance to vent all that stuff that he's not allowed to say in church, I think. So, him as a heel, I think, is best for him.
It seems like when the heels have less of a script, like they're given more,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
And I think they did it at a great time because you could tell that he was starting to get a little stale with the fans. You know what I mean? They didn't really have anything going with him.
Well, the booking didn't help either.
Yeah, they didn't really
Back-to-back
do much
losses.
for him. He was in title matches versus Reigns, but did anybody really think he was going to win?
Yeah. Well, like we said last week, that made total sense for it to be a swerve with the
Yeah.
It made no sense for them to, we don't like you now.
And it was surprising, it kind of caught you off guard a little bit.
Yeah.
It was one of those swerves where you didn't see it coming. I guess just because he's still new.
You could see it coming about 2 minutes before it did, but the build-up, you didn't see
Yeah,
it. It was kind of predictable, when you know what I mean? But it was good.
I liked it.
I'm actually really excited for this match.
Rumor has it those are going to be your two top guys on the SmackDown brand when they do the brand split. It's going to be John Cena and AJ Styles as your two top guys.
Raw is Reigns.
Raw is going to be Reigns and Rollins.
Yep. The R show.
Yeah. As far as Dean Ambrose, New Day, all that other talent.
Well, that happened on Raw too. Well, go ahead and finish yours.
It's going to be interesting. I've heard a lot of rumors about who's going where as far as some of the top talent, but it's going to be really interesting to see where they put certain people, I guess, to position them for good runs for themselves.
Yeah.
But because, like we talked about before, that mid-upper card talent, they want to elevate them, so they got to be careful where they put them, what show's going to elevate them the most with who they get to work with, like an Ambrose, like the New Day, like Kevin Owens, Cesaro, all these guys that are on the cusp of being, the main show, where do they put them and who do they put them with?
Speaking of the New Day, it's now a fatal four-way officially at Money in the Bank for the tag team titles.
Called it.
You got the Club Hold the Mayo. You got the New Day, the Mauled Villains. I like to call them the Mauled Villains. You remember the show Mauled? It's really old. It had Dorothy from the Golden Girls in it.
Well, definitely don't remember that one.
Picture her managing them in my head.
You're a little older than I am. So.
I'm over the Mauled Villains. It's silly. I never was a huge fan of it, but whatever.
They're going to be your middle of the pack tag team, I think, eventually. But they're there for depth purpose, I think.
I think
the tag
they'll
team division.
become like an Ascension by the end of their run.
I hope not, because I do like their ring work.
Yeah.
I think in the ring they're real stiff and real realistic.
Just make them a little more serious. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it is meant to come across as serious, but it doesn't because of the entrance.
And it screams Vince.
Like when your entrance music starts and you have some black and white guy coming, hello, this is the Vaudevillains.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't make it feel serious to you, but I don't think it fits the way they work either. I think I think Vince was thinking by doing this it was going to make their old school feel in the ring come out more with their personalities, but it hasn't.
It's also funny, like Simon Gotch. He's supposed to be like the 1920s strongman.
Yeah.
But he's little.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need like a fucking jacked up fool in there.
Well, back in the 1920s, he probably would have looked jacked up.
Right. Well, that's true.
He was probably big back then.
That's why you're here.
Yeah. So
There's a fourth team in this match. How you doing?
I think I called this. I think
You called it, but are you thrilled about it?
I'm not thrilled about it, but remember when we had this discussion a few episodes ago about Enzo and Cass and the New Day?
I do.
And how we had to be careful on how we put them together. And I believe I said the only way I could see them...
So they can test each
yes,
other.
the only way I could see them coming in the same match before a big pay-per-view would be in a match like this, in a fatal four-way elimination match, something like that.
Are you writing secretly behind my back for WWE, not telling me about it?
No, I'm just really
Are you one of the
smart.
writers of the...
No, I'm just really fucking smart. Like, I try to tell people every week, but they just think I'm an asshole for some reason.
I couldn't imagine why.
I don't know why either. I tell it like it is. So
Enzo and Cass, gold on the mic as always. Guys are getting over like clover.
glad to see Enzo back. I'm sure Big Cass is as well because you could tell they were just trying to find stuff for him to do while he was healing.
Yeah.
But
A little early to make a prediction now, but
I'm ready.
well, I mean, for the sake of like the show, I mean, maybe we could say that for a prediction show is what I mean.
All right. Well,
I got it in my head too.
a lot of times we want to do these prediction shows and we never get to do them.
Well,
so,
it's Club Hold the Mayo is going to win
that's
this
who you
match.
like?
The club.
All right. I can see that. All right. Well, I'm just going to go obvious. I'm going to go New Day.
Okay.
New Day retains.
Safe bet.
I think for some reason
Go ahead.
it sets up maybe a feud with whoever's, because you have to have a tag team, because with the brand split,
That's what I was.
I don't know if they're going to have two tag team belts.
I was just about that. That's what I was going to ask you. Are there going to be two tag belts?
I see the tag team division maybe being more of a floater, you know what I mean? The champs go to both shows,
Yeah.
especially with all the call-ups that are coming. We'll get to that later. An NXT tag team that lost their titles tonight is rumored to be being called up very shortly.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert for that. But
I hated it when they had two tag belts. I was going to say too.
yeah, I don't like
hated that.
The only way you should have two belts, I think, is for the big champion of the show.
Oh, I hate that too. No, I only like it when it's IC and US.
Well, the only thing that makes me like that is the fact that it gives you a chance to elevate more talent with two different world champions.
I think
you know
the
what I mean?
only way they could do that again, because it did not make sense to call it the WWE title and the world title.
Yeah.
I mean, they did it what they did, but it just doesn't make sense. So would you have to have it the Raw title and the SmackDown titles somehow?
So you would rather them have the champion float on both shows?
I would, like
Okay.
how it originally started.
So how would you do it though? I guess 1 month you give a Raw challenger the title shot, and then the next month you give a SmackDown shot. I just think,
Yeah. But here's the thing: when they first did that, when they split the world titles, it was okay. But by the end of it, the world title match was opening up WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And that's not cool.
well, I think they did that, I guess, to spread it out. They
But
didn't want
that
to do
just
everything back to
deflates
back.
the match so
Yeah, it doesn't make it
much.
feel as important as the other belt.
Because even like when we were kids, if a match went on first, like, oh, they're on first.
Yeah.
They're important.
Well, that used to be the Intercontinental match.
Not always. Not back in the day.
It's usually first or second match.
You're thinking WrestleMania 9, the first
Well,
match.
no, I'm thinking most pay-per-views back then. It was either first or second match.
Second usually.
First or second.
You had your curtain jerkers
Yeah.
like your your 6-man tags at SummerSlam 91 with, remember that?
Oh, God.
That could be a match of the week.
Yeah,
that
it
wasn't
could be.
actually a bad match for a Warlord match. And a Power and Glory.
My favorite team's Power and Glory.
Michael's favorite team is Power and Glory.
Just kidding.
But, yeah, that's the tag team titles. Anything you wanted to add?
I like the
to
New
them?
Day. I think they need to keep the belts. I shouldn't say they need to keep the belts, but
No.
I think they're the best choice, especially if they're only going to keep the one tag belts. I think they're the best option to float on both shows.
Yeah.
Because they're obviously still the most over tag team. I think it's getting really close. It's getting close with Enzo and Kaz.
I was going to say, to, like, end off this New Day to, like, whatever. Sorry, I'm stumbling already. I'm not even drinking on this show. I think the New Day, with them being aligned with Cena now, I think you're going to see less and less fans like us kind of, like, falling off the bandwagon. I think they're going to become a little bit kiddier now. And I don't think that's good.
I don't see why WWE would make that mistake.
I think the only person that did that and he didn't come off as kiddie was Orton when he tagged with Cena sometimes.
Yeah.
Look at, like, if you're with Cena, it's like, hey, you're rated G now.
Yeah, but you think about it, and the New Day has never really been rated PG-13. I mean, they call you booty. I mean, that's not...
Well, they can't call you an asshole.
Well, no.
You know,
So, I mean,
PG.
they could still be funny and be with Cena. I mean, Cena still has his moments where he's pushing the limits of PG.
It would be interesting, too, with the brand split if one show was like...
Every
TV.
once in a while, he says he's going to kick somebody's ass.
True.
So
He does slip in a bitch in there
Yeah.
sometimes. I think he might have done it Monday. He said bitch.
You remember?
to AJ
You
Styles.
remember the promos with him and The Rock?
Yeah.
You know.
And that was at the height of PG era.
Yeah. I mean, you think about some of the stuff that was said in those promos, and you're like, "Is that really PG?" But it was funny.
Do you
know
think?
what I mean?
Could you see Raw being TV-14?
I would rather it be like that.
One PG and one TV-14. Do you think they would ever do that?
I don't know if they could ever do that and get away with it, as far as programming wise.
Well, if they
So what-
tell marketers that it's directed for kids for the PG show, this is our kids show. Maybe they could get away with it. You know what I mean? You have your more adult oriented because they have that now with NXT. It's for adults.
Yeah, you have your sponsors, but I don't know. I would rather it just be TV-14. I think you could.
Yeah.
I think you could appeal to both. You know, brands of people there.
Not even like the cussing. TV-14 wrestling wise, like back in the NWA Crockett days, those fucking guys were getting color every night.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't refs coming in and Smojo getting pissed at the ref for the 50th time for stopping the match or whatever. You wouldn't have that nonsense.
You got some juice.
That kills.
For those of you that maybe don't know what juice is, that's when you get busted open during a match. And it's not in black and white. You actually get to see that the blood is red. Because evidently we're too stupid to realize that blood is red, and that's not appropriate for children.
Let's put it in Vaudevillain's world when it's blood.
So, but...
Juice is also a great Tupac movie.
Then the refs got to put on gloves. Thank you, Abdullah the Butcher. But
I see why they do it. I get it.
Abdullah the Butcher.
He's infested with hepatitis C.
You don't know what people have.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the tag title picture coming out.
I'm excited about the tag division right now.
This pay-per-view is going to be really good.
I think if it's not good, I don't see how we could blame anybody but Vince McMahon. Yeah. Because you just look at some of the matches that are on this card, and you're like, how could this pay-per-view not be at least decent?
Yeah.
I mean, you have the Fatal 4-Way Tag match. I wish it was actually a ladder match, just to fit in with the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
But I guess
women's, like we talked about.
I guess it's just too many guys in there at one time or whatever. And
Well,
risk of injury.
Like the Survivor tag team matches. I actually love those matches, but I'm sure for the fans live, it was like, get out of the fucking way. Like they couldn't see anything until guys started getting eliminated.
Yeah. But as far as that, the Money in the Bank match.
We talked about.
U.S. title match. Nobody's talking about that.
That's official too now. You take this one.
Rusev? That's how we ended last week's show.
Titus O'Neil.
Getting his shot.
Against Rusev.
Yep.
U.S. title. I got my Rusev in for the week. I actually got some funny feedback about that on Twitter this week.
Like I told Travis earlier I was going to text him this week while I was at work just with the Rusev question mark after it.
Speaking of Twitter, Slam Pigs Podcast officially has its own Twitter, at Slam Pigs Podcast.
We are all over the place now.
As well as our brand spanking new Facebook group, which is getting a lot of play too.
We got a lot of members already.
People are enjoying it, yeah.
We got over 50 members.
Well, thank all you guys so much for all the social media support, everything, feedback. Got a couple questions this week, that's okay. Got a new question.
Better than done.
Got a new question from a first-time question. Got a return of an old favorite. So,
Who you want to go with first?
do you want to get a question in first? Because I was gonna say, I didn't mean to cut you off, so I'll let you finish.
Yeah.
We forgot. Supposed to be the biggest part of Raw, the World Heavyweight title picture.
Yeah, the World Heavyweight title picture that you didn't really see them interacting on Raw at all. It was pretty much just build up for their match. Them doing individual interviews, talking about what they're going to do to each other and who should have the belt and all that. I mean, it's okay. I mean, but I would
Because of
rather.
Rollins.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Reigns cannot cut a promo. He's a
I-
robot. And
well-
here's my biggest issue with this. You want Rollins to be a heel. Why are you showing video packages of a comeback story, Daniel Bryan style? Who's going to want to boo that guy?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like,
Unless
hey,
they have a double turn planned or something, which I doubt.
I was the champ and I tore up my knee, but I'm a bad guy.
Yeah, and by the way, fuck you guys because I'm a bad guy.
Yeah. So
After
you
watching,
you have to boo me now.
After watching my special on the network that was like a half hour about me coming back, fuck you all.
Yeah.
Like the last 30 seconds of it. Hey, by the way, fuck you.
Yeah.
This just goes on.
Thanks for backing me up, guys, but fuck you.
I'd like to think that, man, some of these agents and bookers or writers or whatever, some of them have years of experience. And,
Do you think they're trying to go to the middle ground thing with these guys? Like,
does middle ground work though? in
let's
wrestling?
not make them good or bad guys. Let's let the fans choose.
Nobody wants. Well, not even let the fans choose. Do you see it being a double turn at Money in the Bank? I don't. I'm just saying. That's like the only way this whole thing would have made
Flip-flop.
sense.
Is that what you're talking about? Like a
Yeah, like
Austin Bret Hart?
Austin Bret or a Honky Jake. Remember when he hit him with the guitar?
Yeah. But it's, I don't know. I don't see that happening.
I'm just saying.
I don't see Rollins winning either, unfortunately.
No, we talked about. Yeah, we already got our prediction up for that.
I mean, I
unfortunately.
think it's terrible, but it wouldn't make sense coming into SummerSlam coming up in a couple months, unless they're gonna do a rematch.
And Reigns just had 2 big rematches, comeback stories or whatever.
I think you have to have whoever's the champ has to face Brock Lesnar
that
at SummerSlam.
took the words right out of my mouth.
Because you figure at WrestleMania, when Brock lost the belt, those were his 2 opponents. So whoever wins out of those 2 has to face Brock Lesnar because neither one of them has ever pinned Brock Lesnar.
Well, you know what? You got a gift. I'm telling you, you have a gift for top of your head, putting the next segue in there perfectly. That was Raw. All right show.
Yeah.
A lot of big news this week. Some not wrestling related. We'll talk about it a little bit because a legend left us this week. An MMA fighter left us this week who's pretty popular. But the biggest news this week, besides the death of Muhammad Ali, Brock Lesnar returns at UFC 200 to face Mark Hunt.
The
Michael.
Aussie, Mark Hunt.
Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi.
Do you think this is a smart move from Brock A? Do you think it's a smart move from WWE B? And how would you have done this? Is
I
that
don't-
too much to load on you at once? or-
No. Do I think it's a smart move from Brock? I don't know that Brock had a whole lot to do with it, to be honest. I think Brock was kind of caught in the midst of... What a lot of people don't realize is with the UFC situation, when Brock left the UFC, he was still under contract, and Dana White allowed him to leave because of his medical condition, and he allowed him to leave to come back to WWE for a payday. But he also told him, hey, I might need you one day, and when I ask you, I need you to be there. So Brock was like, you got it. And this is that time, because those of you that don't follow the MMA world, the biggest draw right now in the MMA world is Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor was supposed to be fighting on UFC 200, but some promotional issues happened with him, and he's been kicked off the 200 card. He's not going to fight again until UFC 202.
Was it visa issues? Like
No,
his
he
internet?
just didn't want to do. He didn't want to do the promotional thing while he was in the middle of camp because I guess after he finally lost a fight, he was like, "Hey, I should probably concentrate more on my fight camp instead of going to press conferences all the time."
Yeah.
So as far as that went, I think the UFC is making their last ditch effort to get another name in there on the card to make UFC 200 seem more blockbuster, want to watch it. And so they bring Brock Lesnar back to face Mark Hunt, which I think this could be good for both of those guys, WWE and UFC, because win or lose, you get your guy on there for WWE. If I'm going to be WWE, hey, my guy's on there. Win or lose, he's in a real fight, and he's coming back to me right after. So
Yeah.
if he wins, great. You know what I mean? That makes him more badass when he comes back here. Like, hey, he just went back to the UFC as a hobby and went up and beat one of their top guys
Yeah.
just for fun. Now he's coming back here to the WWE.
See,
if he loses,
the only way they could book it if he loses, he comes back and he just flips shit. He's so pissed off.
Yeah.
He's unstoppable.
Absolutely.
That's like
Old Brock.
They better just hope to God he just wins flat out.
To be honest, I predict Brock to win this pretty handily. If this fight goes past the first round, there's no way Mark Hunt wins. Mark Hunt is a straight up, stand up, try to knock you out guy. He's a former K1 guy, kickboxer.
Brock gets him down this ball game.
It goes down to the ground. Mark Hunt's in trouble. And if you haven't watched a Brock Lesnar MMA fight, when he takes you down to the ground, you're done.
Yeah.
You don't get up unless you're Cain Velasquez.
Yeah.
Cain Velasquez was the only one to get back up, but
And a lot of
that
people
was in
say
the
it was
midst of Brock's health issues.
Yep, and a lot of people said it was a fluke.
But if it stays standing, if Mark Hunt could stuff those takedowns, Brock might be in trouble because Brock has never shown a great chin to be able to take a big shot.
Well, he's a wrestler.
And Mark Hunt can definitely knock anybody in the heavyweight division out with one punch. He doesn't look like Brock Lesnar does when you take your shirt off. But Mark Hunt is a shorter guy for the heavyweight division, but that guy can hit hard.
Oh yeah, he broke that guy's jaw.
Yep.
I saw the X-ray.
Oh my goodness, he's taken some of these guys in the
Orbital
heavyweight.
fractures.
Yeah, I mean his record's 12-10.
He's Samoan, right?
Well, he's Australian.
But I
think he has Samoan
Yeah.
background, but as far as he goes, he can beat anybody with one punch. So Brock's got to be careful in there. His first fight in the UFC in quite a few years, and Mark Hunt better be worried because Brock's been chomping at the bit to get back in there and fight for real.
They're gonna do a lot of buys with this, definitely.
Well, I think this is going to be a good not a co-main event, but this will be on the main card. This will probably be your third. This will probably be right before your co-main event.
This is your attraction match.
Yeah, this is like your main attraction fight, but for no title.
Sorry, fight. I said match.
It's gonna be probably the third match on the main event right before the two title fights.
Yeah.
So I think it's good for the UFC. I think it's good for WWE because I didn't get to go into the UFC side. The UFC is like, yeah, hey, we get to save this pay-per-view a little bit with a WWE guy
Yeah.
that has held our belt before, making his return.
You know what's so hilarious about this? Brock Lesnar will fight before CM Punk.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I used to
CM Punk's always injured.
I used to like him a lot. He's just so full of shit.
When it comes down to actually doing
It
it.
just screams like a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
You know, like, Christ. But some rumored opponents for Brock were Shane Carwin, I heard. Fedor. Old ass Fedor Emelianenko.
The funny thing is, with CM Punk, I remember him doing an interview a while back, talking about his jiu-jitsu skills and all this stuff. Who would win a fight between him and Brock Lesnar in the octagon? He said CM Punk because of his jiu-jitsu. He thinks Brock would take him down and he would just be superior with jiu-jitsu and he would make Brock tap. I'm sorry, but you have never been on TV in a real fight ever.
While Brock Lesnar was winning NCAA titles, CM Punk was banging ring rats behind an indie show dumpster.
Pretty much. And CM Punk's 200 pounds. Brock Lesnar's 300 pounds.
Honestly, it just disgusts me to think about him anymore. He's just such a cocky prick.
He does a lot of talking.
I was a fan of him wrestling, I'm not going to lie.
Well, I mean, hell of a worker.
Yeah.
But can he actually fight? We're going to find out hopefully someday.
Huh.
Maybe this year, maybe next year. So, I mean, he signed, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Still hasn't fought.
He signed 2014.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's put up or shut up, punk. Like,
Just
honestly,
something.
just shut your fucking mouth.
You're no spring chicken to begin with.
You're in your late 30s as well. So, but
That's the
moving
Brock
right along.
Lesnar. That's our little MMA segment.
Yep.
Really big news. Lost one of the biggest legends of all time this week. To bring
In the sports world, yes.
bring the show down for a second. Muhammad Ali passed away this week.
The greatest of all time.
A lot of people think
Ask
that.
him. Ask anybody who watched him. His record may not be perfect, but he was in there for 3 decades. He fought from the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s.
And he wrestled Antonio Inoki. Had a conversation with Gorilla Monsoon in the ring. Got put in the airplane spin.
And he was part of the very first WrestleMania.
Referee.
Yep,
Got physical a little bit.
he did. But
Really sad to see what happened to his health. How he deteriorated, but
it's what's really sad is when with a legend like this dying, it makes the boxing world think, who do we have right now that could be like that?
nobody. Nobody's ever going to be like
And
that.
then people are, well, what about Floyd Mayweather? What about Floyd Mayweather? Yeah, he's undefeated. Did Floyd Mayweather ever have one entertaining fight that was even half as entertaining as some of Muhammad Ali's
Well,
fights?
not even. Look at all the political outside the ring
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali did. I mean, countless things.
He's done a lot of things outside the ring.
Revolutionary.
Yep. But, I mean, as far as in the ring, Muhammad Ali fought anybody, everybody, and he actually fought them. He didn't jab and run away.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't win on points like Floyd Mayweather does. Hey, I'm 49-0 with 3 knockouts.
If you guys
have
never seen a clip on YouTube or ever in your life of Muhammad Ali just doing some rope-a-dope, an animated GIF, you need to get on that because it's awesome.
Ask George Foreman.
Yeah, oh yeah. Ask Smoke and Joe.
Joe Frazier. You remember those fights? That trilogy.
My favorites.
Oh, and we weren't even alive.
Nope.
But you could still go back and watch those fights. You're like, holy shit, those guys are beating the shit out of each other.
As you guys heard on the intro of the show, a little bit of Ali in the intro this week. You know what? I think it's only fitting for our first promo break. It's going to be Ali. Let's get an Ali promo. I know it's not wrestling, but he's the GOAT, man, the greatest of all time.
It's going to be a tough one to pick.
Well, it's another fighter this week.
What do you think? What do you think as far as first promo break? Should we do like an Ali with Howard Cosell interview? I think that would be the best.
Oh, yeah.
Because
that's exactly what I was going to do.
Him and Howard Cosell were like perfect.
Yeah. I always thought it was hilarious, too. It was a different time, but like when he first changed his name, how like the commentators were like really refused to call him Muhammad Ali. Yeah. I'm sure you saw the movie, right?
Yeah. But I mean, Howard Cosell always did.
That's definitely going to be our first promo break.
Yeah.
Well, Cosell Ali action. Ricky Morton fire. Rest in peace, Muhammad Ali, definitely, man.
That's coming up here in a minute, but first, we should mention the other death this week just happened a couple days ago.
42 years old, came out of nowhere. I was just on Twitter the other night. All of a sudden, Kimbo Slice was trending. I thought he had a fight coming up, and then I saw him climb.
He did.
Yeah. Fight with his own eternity, his own mortality.
He actually was supposed to fight in July 9th.
No, but I thought like something had happened, and I see when somebody like that like trends fast and there's number one. Yeah, it's usually a death.
Yeah,
so like, oh shit,
usually not good.
Kimbo Slice dead at 42. Michael.
Birth name Kevin Ferguson, but most widely known as Kimbo Slice for his internet fights, unsanctioned brawls in backyards. Tough dude. Okay in the MMA boxing world. Didn't really know a whole lot about him behind the scenes. I know he came up from the hood in Miami, which I guess is legit because Miami's, pretty rough town. But
what can I say?
Here we fucking go. But as far as Kimbo Slice, Kevin Ferguson, condolences to your family.
Knocking out dudes' eyes in YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And then you put him in. I mean, I'm not
Put
gonna.
him in
I know the man passed away.
Undefeated boxer.
Right. True.
So. 40, and he didn't really get into the MMA world till he was in his mid-30s. So,
right.
I mean...
Who knows what he could have been.
Yeah, I mean, he's still a tough dude. He could knock anybody out with one shot.
Yeah.
Not your most technical fighter in the world. Didn't have much of a ground game.
And unlike Ali, not your prettiest fighter in the world.
No. Well, Ali was pretty.
He was so pretty.
Yeah. I mean, ask him.
So mean. He's so mean he makes medicine sick.
That's right. But Kimbo, rest in peace.
Shout out to Enzo on Raw this week, throwing some Ali quotes out there, by the way.
I think that was fitting.
Oh, yeah.
Enzo is one of
Only Enzo could have pulled that off.
Well, I think Enzo, the shitty part with WWE right now is one of their best promos comes from a tag team guy. Like, you think of the New Day and Enzo and Cass, those are two of your best people on the mic.
Oh, yeah.
And they're in tag teams.
Yeah.
You got Big E and you got Enzo, and they're both in tag teams.
Yeah.
So, that's the sad part with WWE right now.
Real quick, because I know you're not up on Ring of Honor stuff, I did want to mention this. Do you know who Roderick Strong is?
Yeah.
There's a rumor he may be coming to NXT. He's like a 12-year-plus vet.
Yeah.
Great worker. The messiah of the backbreaker. So that's something to look forward to. NXT's getting stacked.
They're getting a lot of depth.
But we're going to get to NXT here in a little bit. This literally popped in my head. I had this debate on Twitter with Lee today. And for the first time, Lee made me a little agitated.
Uh-huh. Welcome to my side.
Talking about Rusev. Rusev? We were. I swear to God, we were talking about Rusev. Rusev? And, sorry, guys. It's addicting. And it was something along the lines of, you got to admit, Lee, Rusev is fucking awesome. Well, I don't really like him that much. I just think he's another big man. And I was like, well, he's not exactly the warlord.
Yeah.
I think Rusev's awesome, so...
I think he's one of the best big guys they have in the company right now.
Lee didn't have a question for us this week, but I thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah. Well,
I think you're wrong on this, Lee. I think you need to open your eyes with Rusev a little bit.
Once again, Lee, you're a fucking dickhead.
Well, will you stop? I didn't say that.
Why?
I'm just saying.
I thought that's what you were...
I did not say that.
I thought you were handing it to me I thought that's what that was for. He's British. You know how I feel about British people.
Are you going to start already with the
I can start.
All I have to do is mention the man's
I mean, we
name.
can go. I could go on for hours on British people. We know this. If you haven't listened to the shows the past few weeks,
Well, your hero was at ringside at NXT tonight.
endless insults on British people. Yeah, NXT. You saw Neville, but he's not. He's not like Lee.
A bearded Neville.
Yeah, a bearded Neville.
Like Lee? Like what do you mean?
Well, Lee doesn't claim him as British. You remember that?
He's Geordie.
Whatever that is. He's from Newcastle, so I guess that doesn't count.
Lee, you're not a dickhead, in my view. You're just wrong about Rusev.
Lee, you're a dick.
But we got a whole.
Lee's a dickhead.
Are you got to call security already?
Go ahead.
All right. I'll have you out here in a second.
I'd like to see you try.
You're gonna have another hot dog, or you're gonna be
there
good?
goes the ratings if I leave.
You want to get one of these questions out of the way before we hit the first promo break, or you want to get our new question, our new listener, and one of your friends?
One of my friends, a new subscriber, Shrekums, my friend from here in town.
I just want to say Snookums.
The funny thing is, I'm the one who gave him that nickname. So the fact that he uses it on YouTube just makes me laugh even more. So
Shrekums, Snookums.
Shrekums, your question this week, do you think that Enzo and Cass could be world champions? Well, Travis?
You want me to kick it on?
Go ahead.
Oh, without a doubt. Why not?
What kind of timetable do you give it? Didn't see that coming, did you? You just thought you were going to get they could be champs.
I'm going to say Survivor Series-ish. Ish. Yeah, around that time of year, late fall.
I think they're champs at WrestleMania?
I think they're champs at Mania.
Okay.
To maybe drop it to a team like the Revival, who we saw tonight. Great heel tag team. I like the Revival a lot. You're not a big fan?
No.
Oh, man, that was the match of the night.
They're a little stale for me as far as character-wise.
Well,
Work. Yeah, they're great. But as far as character, I don't think they're nearly...
Maybe they'll find something for him, but we never know what happens.
Hopefully something better than what they're doing. But I see, absolutely, yes. I think they're going to be champs. If they can both stay healthy. I don't see how... The only way they don't become champs is if WWE waits too long. That's what I'm afraid of with this team. They're kind of... I think they almost kind of got rushed up too quick for me. I wish they would have waited a little bit to bring them up.
No, I think they were way overdue. I really do. But I watched them from the very beginning in like 2013.
It's bad timing when you bring up a big babyface tag team and you have a big babyface tag team already carrying the belts.
Keep them separated though. Then they have until now, of course.
So then you have to have a heel take it off of the first babyface for them to get it.
Well, I think that's where I think the club takes the belts. I think they hold it to about Survivor Series, and I think Enzo and Cass take it from there. Maybe a rematch of Mania with the club, but I could see it being a Revival. A heel American Alpha could even work.
Or maybe an Enzo and Cass versus New Day at WrestleMania, like I predicted.
Word of that.
Babyface match at WrestleMania.
That's going to get nobody over.
Yeah, but either way, the fans are going to pop. Because you're going to have people...
Or they'll sit on their hands because they don't know who to cheer for.
Yeah, but that's when you get that best 50-50 split. I think that's when it's the best match. When you have that Rock versus Hulk Hogan. When you have that Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn. Yeah. I mean, when you have that kind of crowd, I think that makes the match even better. I don't think you can do any wrong in the match. Because I think when they go at it, I think either way, the fans win. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I just don't like that idea.
You just don't like baby
I never
faces.
have.
So you don't like babyface matches.
I mean, you're going to start I don't like babyface matches?
I mean, that's fine.
I love Hogan Warrior. That's not true at all. I love, shit, I can't think off the top of my head.
Well, that's what this could be like for the tag team division.
I love Sami Zayn Nakamura.
2 baby faces.
We'll see where it goes. 2
baby faces works a lot. 2 baby faces make a right.
It was also 1990 with one, and the other was based more off those guys were fucking phenomenal in the ring. The New Day and Enzo and Cass are kind of... Kofi's great worker.
Yeah, but I think as going against each other, I think it would be a great match because they're almost the same tag team. You think about it, they have the big men, Big E and Big...
Go ahead and say it, Ebony and Ivory.
No, Big E and Big Cass. I'd love to see them go at it.
Yeah.
And then you have Enzo and Kofi. 2 small guys that can tear the shit up in there.
Xavier and Carmella, is she gonna...
Well, Carmella, I think I was just watching that tonight. I think they held her back because they think she could be a big single star in the women's division.
Oh.
So I don't think you see them reunite.
On the brand new Breaking Ground that debuted tonight.
Yeah, it was actually really good. I enjoyed it. But Carmella wasn't brought up with them because they have big plans for her as far as a singles run, whether it's in NXT or on the main roster eventually. Maybe she could be that one that takes over for Bayley so that Bayley can move up.
Yeah.
But that's why Carmella wasn't brought up. But I think you could find somebody else to go with Enzo and Cass maybe. There's always somebody that you can put with a tag team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it would be cool to see Paul Heyman with that tag team. Could you imagine that?
Oh my God! And they're all New York.
Yeah.
You know.
So I mean,
He brings back the Yankees hat.
yeah. That would be like.
Would you please
awesome.
put a hat on Paul Heyman? I miss Paul Heyman with the hat. Do you?
Yeah, but I
God.
guess it's out of style for the skullet.
Because that was in style when?
I guess in the 90s. Everybody was wearing hats no matter what their hair looked like. I guess hats with long hair was cool back then.
Okay.
I don't know.
Metal. A lot of metal guys back then wore hats like
Yeah.
Pantera and.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess that's why he did it. But not as socially acceptable these days.
Thank you so much, Shrekums. I'm trying to say that with the straightest face possible. For your question, just because of your name, that's all. But I really liked your question. Thank you. I hope you enjoy the show. Thank you for listening. And welcome to the Slam Pigs Nation.
Thank you, Slam Pigs Nation.
Oink,
One of my buddies.
Oinkin' loud.
Finally, Oinkin' Loud, participating in the show.
Hopefully more to come.
I mean, you guys don't understand. Well, actually, I guess I shouldn't say that. Because everybody who listens to this show should understand how sometimes it doesn't feel as socially acceptable to tell people that you are a host of a wrestling podcast.
Right.
But I guess you guys that are part of Slam Pigs Nation understand how it would be because you probably feel the same sometimes.
I stopped giving a shit about that. It's like, I still won't ever wear a wrestling shirt in public. I don't own a wrestling shirt at all. I don't think, I've maybe one or two in my life I've owned. And I never wore them in public. That is about it. As far as like telling people, I'm proud of this show.
Yeah, I think the more subscribers we get, the more I'm kind of like, I don't give a shit.
The more baby steps.
Yeah. Listen.
Honestly, the more feedback.
Yeah.
Knowing that people listen and actually enjoy it is encouraging, and it's great.
You guys are
Love
like
you
us.
guys.
You guys and gals are like us.
And you tell Lee thank you.
No.
Even Lee,
No.
you say thank
Not
you.
doing it.
Why?
Ain't happening. They ain't had that much to drink.
You stop.
No.
Well, let's get this promo
Okay.
break in.
Be a cold day in hell.
Our first promo break, like we said,
Comes from the greatest of all time.
Howard Cosell.
And Howard Cosell.
To a horrible Cosell.
Howard Cosell alongside Muhammad Ali.
What you gonna do?
Mm-hmm. You don't look as broke as you're supposed to be.
No, what you mean, bro?
Everybody says you're broke. You got no money. You gave it all to Elijah Muhammad.
No, how could I give it to Elijah Muhammad? I mean, the American government took 90% of all of my money before I got it. You know that Lowell Sponsoring Group had that deal called the Joe Louis tax law.
Fact of the matter is, the thing you've missed most over the past year were the steady vocal sparring sessions that we enjoyed on Wide World of Sports.
Well, we had a lot of fun, but let's let the other boys have a chance and build some more contenders. After beating Zora Foley, you know, no one was left for me to fight. So I think even if I was still fighting, it would have been good for me to step aside for 2 years and let them fight it out to see who deserves the honor to fight me.
It's been fun. We've missed it.
Well, things make it better soon.
One more shuffle.
Well, if I do the shuffle, you might have to scuffle.
We've done that, Joe.
He's up there now, slugging with the Angels. That was the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali. It's
like
sad. I like it, but it's sad.
You get away with words sometimes.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
See, I give compliments every once in a while.
Well, I'm American. That's probably why.
Well, yeah, you're not British, so that helps.
If I'd
you out.
opened that up in a British accent, would you have complimented me?
Probably not.
You son of a bitch.
Well, I'm sorry. You know how I feel about the Brits. For all you fans that aren't British out there,
Or Geordie.
I really appreciate you. Thank you for listening. As for all you British fans out there, well, Travis will thank you because it ain't happening for me.
You be serious.
I am being serious.
We're not gonna demean a whole country because of your beef with one person.
They tried to keep us from being a country.
How long ago was that?
It was a long time ago, but it don't fucking matter.
2016.
Oh,
did you know any of those people?
Oh, okay.
Were you
Well, how
personal
long-
friends?
how long
Long time
ago-
close personal friends, Mean Gene?
How long? How long ago was 9/11?
15 years ago.
Yeah. So I mean, should we just forget about that because it was a while ago? Do it.
Be sure to check out the Hibiki TMD on Twitter, as well as the Slam Pigs podcast on Twitter. It can actually say that now after 15 shows.
And on Facebook.
And on Facebook. Don't be a prick. I want to get a motto that says, don't be a prick.
Just so you guys know, it might be in the works here at a later date that Slam Pigs podcast could be doing some live videoing on Facebook.
Possibly catch us
Triple
on
H
there.
was on there tonight.
Maybe some instant reaction videos. Like
Yeah.
if you can't make it to my place or it's on a day we don't do the show, something happens. Maybe a little breaking news.
We could ask each other questions that way.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Hi, Michael. How was your day? I was pretty good.
Well, there went all the group members.
Love you guys. Thank you guys for listening every week. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Always subscribe. NXT TakeOver, the end, was tonight. It was the end, it seems like, for the Finn Balor Samoa Joe feud. As we always do, let's start from the top. The NXT Heavyweight title. Finn Balor, the big man, Samoa Joe. Steel cage, first one in NXT history. I thought it pretty much lived up to what it should be. Needed some juice in there.
Didn't happen.
You got accidental juice at the last one. The cage
Yeah.
match, no juice. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, no juice in this one.
But hey, Super Muscle Buster gets the 1, 2, 3. Finn Balor was dead at the end of the show, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, Samoa Joe beat him clean again. So, I mean, this has to be the end of Finn Balor on NXT. That would be the only sensible thing. What do you do with him?
Oh, you bring him up.
I'm just saying, if you weren't to
Oh,
bring
if you
him
leave,
up,
if you leave him there,
it makes no sense.
he'll just be stagnant, and
Yeah.
he'll lose his luster.
Yeah, I think he's going to be one of your surprise draft picks. So maybe he gets a little time off before then.
When is the actual draft? Have they announced
They
it?
said, I think it was July 19th.
Okay.
That was when SmackDown goes live.
Probably maybe a week or two before.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but you can expect to see Finn Balor on that draft list, possibly early. Early selection.
Yeah.
Hopefully for his sake, not too early, because then it comes with the giant expectations that I don't know if he can live up to character-wise.
Right. I know you said that a lot tonight. You think Balor's pretty stale to you.
Well, I don't...
It's just because we like
Yeah.
Joe so much.
Well, you could definitely tell the difference in crowd reaction for him.
Yeah.
It used to be when he came out, that place went batshit crazy. Now when he comes out, people are like, all right, it's Finn Balor, sweet.
Because he's not really doing anything. And
Yeah.
when he talks, it's not like he's saying anything.
Yeah,
it's just like...
his character is very stale to me.
Yeah.
As far as his ring work's never stale. I've always liked his ring work. As a character, though, right now, I think it's lost some of its luster. But not to put him down as a person or a professional. I think he's a great worker in that ring. But I think the character needs something.
Yeah. I agree.
Maybe a little more mic time.
It doesn't help he sounds exactly like Sheamus,
Yeah.
his voice.
I mean, his character... This is why the Undertaker character is so underrated, because the Undertaker character was very similar to Finn Balor.
But the Undertaker is also 6'10".
But he has also, his character has taken so many different turns, and you know what I mean. It has so many different levels to his character that kept him entertaining.
Not for like 10 years though. He didn't change his character. He kept that dead man
Yeah.
gimmick for.
Well, I mean, he had
Balor's just starting with
he had it from 1990 up until
97. He started getting darker.
That
I'm
was
not counting when he went. I had purple
Yeah,
gloves.
that was
Not the purple gloves.
that was pre-ministry.
Because if anything's scary, it's a guy in fucking purple gloves and boots coming at you. You know what I mean? That's 95 for you.
Yeah, the colors were appealing to the children.
Mm.
Like, hey, look at today. John Cena and his different rainbow colors, and Bayley and her different rainbow colors. And, yeah. that
Marty
worked.
Jannetty.
Yeah.
Dean Douglas and his. Jesus Christ. What was he wearing? God, did they hate Shane Douglas or what? Good God.
Please tell me, people, that you remember Shane Douglas as Dean Douglas in the WWE.
Let us know in the comments down below. Did you hate Shane Douglas?
Did you?
Did you? Want to know. Anyway.
My opinion on the match, I don't think it was their best match together at all.
The last takeover was definitely.
I thought the last one was pretty good. I thought the one before that, I think their first match was my favorite. It always will be. But just because of the atmosphere. Yeah. It may not have been a better technical match or storytelling match,
but it was the first meeting.
Yeah, it was like,
and they had just broken up as a tag team.
So I mean, Joe's there and he's there and bam.
Yeah.
So plus it created mystique. You didn't know who was going to win that because it's NXT.
Also on this show and the last show, they had the misfortune of having to follow a Nakamura match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is the second takeover in a row for their next match we're going to cover right now. the women's title match, Asuka and Nia Jax.
Yep.
Definitely the worst match I've seen Asuka have, but totally not her fault. You had that big dump truck in there with her. I'm sorry,
Jax.
I'm not a fan of Nia Jax.
Nia
And you know
Jax
what?
is-
I'm not going to bust on her weight because I like thick women. I'm all about it. Ask my brother over here. But she cannot work. And it's so obvious to me why she's as far up as she is and not lower down. Who is her family?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's that she can't work. I just don't think she can work a style of match with certain people.
Yeah.
She cannot work an Asuka style match. She can't. It's technical.
So why do you make the match?
It's fast paced, it's technical, and it's entertaining. I don't know that Nia Jax can have all three of those things at the same time in the ring.
Yeah.
She's a little big to be doing that. I'm sorry, she can't. A bigger person usually is not able to keep up with that fast paced
Well,
technical style. I mean, you saw the problem when you had. Yeah, but you had the same kind of thing as with like Bret Hart, Yokozuna. Bret Hart was one of the best technical workers ever.
Yoko, one of the best big men.
Yes, but together they couldn't have. Did they ever really have a good match?
No, they didn't.
No.
No.
Because the styles clashed.
Yeah.
You can't put a technical person in there with a bigger person that can't keep up. You know
I
what I
wouldn't
mean?
say Nia Jax is like lazy. She
No,
tries.
She's just bigger. You know what I mean? She's not going to be able to move as fast as Asuka.
Yeah.
You
She
know
shouldn't
what I mean?
have to. She shouldn't be booked into that kind of position.
Well,
to
yeah, I
have
think
to.
this match could have been constructed a different way. I thought for a little while there they were doing a great job. They were making Nia Jax look like the big person in the ring. She didn't have to do a whole lot of moving around with Asuka.
Yeah.
Asuka was pretty much the fly coming off the wall that you kept swatting and swatting. And then they did,
Yeah.
big fancy pop time. You know what I mean? That big hot tag or the big comeback, whatever you want to call it.
The Ricky Morton fire.
Yeah, for Asuka. And that's when Nia Jax really got exposed for not being able to keep up with somebody like Asuka.
I'd say one thing
It
about
makes
this.
you appreciate Bailey, though, because I thought the match with Bailey and Nia Jax was better than this one.
Oh, so now you're a Bailey fan.
Well, I'm not saying that
Compared to Nia Jax.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying her and Nia Jax was better for me than this one.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I thought Bailey and Nia Jax came together a bit more, but it could be a language thing with working with Asuka too. You know
I'll
what
be
I
totally
mean?
honest, and I'm sure they have one more. I thought Bailey and Asuka, because I know we didn't do a post show for the last, was a stinker.
You didn't like it?
I thought it was a dud. The crowd was flat for one because they just followed the Sami Zayn and Nakamura, which honestly should have closed that show. That's the biggest star in Japan. That was like,
And your biggest star of NXT's history, probably.
yeah.
And they're not on last. That's like the Rock Hogan thing.
I understand like the traditionalist style, the belt goes on last, but
It wasn't
sometimes
fair. I thought the match was good. I thought the match with Bailey and Asuka was really good. I don't, like you said though, I didn't like the timing of it. I would have had that one started.
I think if the crowd would have been invested more,
Yeah.
I could have been invested.
Could you
more.
imagine that if that match would have started it? You know
Oh
what I
my
mean?
God, yeah.
It would have went over a lot better.
The tag title match started it this
Yeah.
month, and it started the last one, and the crowd
Well,
was red hot.
tag match was second this time,
No. Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
I'm
'cause-
sorry.
yeah.
Sorry about that.
but the pay-per-view before that was they were first. They let off the show. But I think it's where you put these matches. I would rather put, like tonight's first match, I would have put in that spot where they did with Sami Zayn and Nakamura.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Or with Asuka and Bailey. I would have put that singles match that started off the show in that spot, and I
Imagine-
would have switched them around there.
Or you could have opened with Nakamura and Aries. And that goes back to earlier what you're saying is spreading it out.
Yeah.
Here you're a fan of. Imagine the show opening with Nakamura.
Yeah.
I mean, the crowd went ape shit tonight. They
Yeah.
literally, because you you missed the entrance. Right initially after the entrance for Nakamura, they were still singing his song, and
Yeah.
they didn't stop. Like
Mhm.
it was nuts.
Yeah.
So over.
He's got to be your number one contender.
He will
Imagine
be.
that match.
Oh,
Samoa Joe and
I feel
Nakamura.
that's what's coming. It has to.
I would like to see those two styles go against you because they're both stiff
Yeah.
and they're both technically awesome.
I was gonna say also that it seems like the theme of tonight's pay-per-view was stiff.
Yeah,
Not in a homosexual way.
But that's always NXT though. You know what I mean?
But tonight is just like Jesus Christ.
You got to think these are the people that are working every single day to get better.
Yeah.
The people that are up on the main roster can talk about all the the dues they paid, this and that. But are they really working like these guys down here every single day
Some guys do. Kevin Owens.
to get
Sami
better?
Zayn.
You know what I
But
mean?
they're newer guys up there.
That's why I think you see more of a technical match in NXT because that's what they're working on every day. Chain wrestling.
I think Ryder still works really hard. Just as
Yeah.
But
I'm just talking about the style of matches different in NXT because of what they do every day.
Yeah.
The people on the main roster are traveling all the time. The people in NXT, aside from a few little tours and spot shows, they're in the same place. So when they do a show, they do their tapings, they have all these days to rehearse these matches and work on their technical skills every day. So, of course, it's going to come out more in NXT.
They're like TNA used to be, but they're performing in front of the same audience, too.
Yeah.
The same people will go to these shows, so they have to mix it up. So they have to think more and be more creative. So
they definitely have more free time to work on their craft.
Yeah.
I mean, and I hate to be a defender of him, but I think that's where John Cena kind of got thrown under the bus. They pushed him so fast, but he wasn't ready work-wise. And he didn't get any time to work on it work-wise because they gave him the world title. And he has to go make all these appearances, traveling dates, Make-A-Wish.
He wasn't like Orton, how he was just a natural.
The fact that he's not awful in the ring anymore should say a lot for him because I know from what I've heard how busy a schedule that man has every day.
The Make-A-Wish.
Like from wake up
the radio
to sleep.
appearances.
Yeah, I mean...
Good Morning America he's the host of now sometimes.
It's like, when does this guy get a chance to train?
Yeah.
So...
He pulls it off, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually improved in the ring over the years.
Yeah.
So, but imagine if he got a chance to be down in NXT for 2-3 years.
True. Who knows what John Cena we'd see today. I mean, I'm very impressed with... I mean, I'm not going to say he's the greatest.
No, he's definitely improved, though.
I'm impressed by his improvement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He wasn't like a Hogan, where you're just...
5 years ago today, I would have pretty much shit all over him. And I did shit all over him last week, guys. Sorry.
I was going to say, unless you meet Michael in an alley, he's not probably going to...
In a real street fight, yeah, I'm not scared of John Cena, but I do respect him for what he has done over the past few years and actually making improvements in his character and his work. I think his character's better than it was 5 years ago, too.
Yeah, he seems like he's more adult.
He's getting more towards that mid-range, where he can still appeal to kids and still be all right with the older people.
Well, those kids from 5 years ago are 5 years older, too.
So that's what they want to hear.
Exactly.
I think that's how the business always evolves, though. You get a generation where you hit a rating spike, and you want to appeal to that generation for as long as you can.
WrestleMania 3 to, like, a couple years later is dead to, like, Attitude Era.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
So, I mean, it's... Once you see that I think ratings spikes happen in wrestling according to generations. You had our generation, which went from when we were younger.
We were the vulgar, like, we want tits and we want
but that was later on. But when we were kids, we got that big national...
We got the golden era
exposure of wrestling. And so then as we got older, we were like, this isn't cool anymore. I don't want to see Hulk Hogan saying his prayers and eating his vitamins.
This guy's a clown? Like, he's a trash guy?
Yeah.
What?
So,
well, we still watched it.
Yeah, but then it evolved, and it was like, oh, awesome, we're back into wrestling.
He paints his face, and now he's Evil Crush?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that. But I think that's where we are today with this generation. You have the 5 years ago generation when they were a little younger.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I love John Cena. All this. And now they're getting up to their teens and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's getting to the point where, John Cena, I'm going to start to boo him now.
Yeah.
When I go to a show.
Well,
so and
younger kids always want to do what the cooler older kids do.
If he's still around in 5 more years, because John Cena seems to never get older or anything, if he's still around 5 more years, maybe he's back to that old John Cena character where he came out and just cut loose on some really good rap promos.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he needs to be the rap character again, but you know what I mean. I think he could be really entertaining.
I would like that.
If you took the leash off of him, I think he would still be able to be really entertaining on a microphone.
Oh yeah.
Like you saw him with The Rock.
Definitely. Well, we're only past the women's title match. Let's get down to
Asuka defended.
And successfully.
Yeah, Asuka, my girl. What I wouldn't do to that woman.
Probably the most anticipated.
Babe, I hope you're not listening to this. Sorry. But Asuka.
Maybe we should give you a pass for the night. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Just don't tell me any details.
I love you. You're having my baby boy.
Michael has a big thing for Asuka.
Yeah.
So I have a big thing for Paige, but nonetheless.
Yeah, Paige.
A couple others. I don't like Nikki Bella as a person, but good lord. Probably the most anticipated match.
As long as she didn't talk, I guess.
Nakamura, the man himself,
Austin Aries.
A double. Austin Aries.
I thought this would have been a great match.
It was. It was a great match.
Well, I mean, it was. I'm talking about like pump up wise.
Oh, the build-up.
Yeah.
Not very good. Well, they only announced it like 2 weeks ago, I think. You think they would have given it more time? What you're gonna say?
My point exactly. I thought this kind of match between two independent / international stars could have been built up a lot
that
more.
hype.
Yeah.
Mojo Rawley.
Yeah, that's
Sucks.
Yeah, I mean it could have been built up a lot better, but I really feel like they've kind of, with Austin Aries, I feel like they've kind of just been like, hey, here's Austin Aries, and instead of when they have Nakamura on there, it's like, oh my God, it's Shinsuke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have you felt the difference between the two when they both came in at the same
I
time?
feel like we're reaching a point in NXT where so many great independent guys have signed and debuted.
It's almost like the company's picking their
Well,
favorites.
now we're hitting the TNA guys. Eric Young didn't appear tonight. Bobby Roode was announced tonight.
Well, he
coming
was in
up.
the hallway.
He was in the hallway.
Yeah.
That was Bobby Roode.
But they keep making a point to get him on camera for some reason, so that means they're giving him something.
So, oh yeah. But Austin Aries got attacked on his debut by
Yeah,
Baron
did
Corbin.
he get any build up to his?
He beat Baron Corbin.
Well, I'm talking about to his debut. No, it was just, hey, oh my
Yeah.
God, it's Austin
It
Aries.
was a shock debut.
Shinsuke Nakamura got
Well,
all of these weeks of build up.
Shinsuke never went to TNA. Vince hates TNA guys. Word on the streets has always been that.
But my point
You know?
in this whole segment is Austin Aries was like, hey, here's Austin Aries.
Yeah.
And Shinsuke Nakamura was built up, well, what, like a month ahead?
Yeah.
It was the star of the international world. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's how it was with Shinsuke. And I think the company's almost trying to make you pick favorites. I guess so that when they release Austin Aries in a couple of years, they can say, well, we tried.
I don't know. Maybe.
It's like when you imagine. It's just how you promote things. Like imagine if Muhammad Ali, like going on the Muhammad Ali thing. Rest in peace. Imagine if Muhammad Ali wasn't promoted like he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it was self done or by somebody else. Imagine if Howard Cosell was like, and next on my show is Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. You're right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Gotcha.
So that's how I see Austin.
It's
I
like
think
raw
Austin
into the
Aries
deal type thing.
Yeah, and have we heard Austin Aries on a microphone
Not
much?
a lot.
Like
Maybe.
one of his strongest attributes in TNA.
Not even a handful of times.
I thought he was really good on a mic in TNA.
He was one of their best heels for a while.
Yeah, I mean, give the man a microphone. Let him
I
talk.
think when he turns heel, I think it's coming. I said that tonight. I thought Bobby Roode was actually going to debut in this and help Aries, and they reformed their TNA tag team that I can't remember the damn name of because it's TNA, but I know they were a tag team.
Yeah.
So sorry guys, I said from episode 1 I'm not going to talk about
wasn't AMW, was it? America's Most Wanted.
No, that was Wildcat, Chris
Okay,
Harrison,
Yeah, sorry.
James Storm. Who
Yeah.
went back to TNA from NXT. What a moron.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's regretting that. Why would you do that?
I guess 'cause-
Nothing?
Yeah. I was never a big James Storm fan, so
Yeah.
I mean
Sorry.
they already have James Storm. They have Big Cass. So I mean,
And he's like 6 inches taller.
yeah. So I mean,
Well, you
why
just
do they
compared
need
a
it?
cowboy to like a how you doing? To like a Brooklyn
yeah,
guy.
but have you ever actually listened to Big Cass if he wasn't in character?
Well, he talks like
He's more
you and
like
I,
he's more like James Storm.
right.
Hey, how y'all doing?
This match was phenomenal. Death Valley Driver on the ring apron, spot of the match in my opinion. That looked brutal. Like that's where the ring meets. That's the hardest part of the
Liked
ring.
it.
As Jim Ross likes to tell everyone.
It was a slobber knocker of a shot.
God, if Jim Ross called NXT, could you imagine?
Well, then WWE would never get any ratings because NXT would be way better.
Oh, gotcha. I thought you meant because it would be horrible.
Who would you rather listen to tonight on commentary?
Graves isn't bad. I like Corey Graves. He can be all right. That other guy, I
He
don't know
just
what the
strikes
hell.
me- he
What the
just-
fuck were they wearing tonight?
He just strikes me as tattooed Edge.
He sounds
As far
just
as
like
Corey
Edge.
Graves.
He does sound just like
And his
Edge.
character is really not that different.
You have the spirit of Sheamus and Edge on the mics tonight. It's really not that different. He kind of has a dumb haircut. He's
Yeah.
crooked. Straighten that shit
He's
out.
a little more punk rock, I guess.
With horrible green shirts.
Yeah. Who dresses these people? He looked like he was like paying tribute to the Ninja Turtles movie that just came out.
Obviously, based on the way they look, Michael Hayes picked out the wardrobe. So
They weren't wearing big belt buckles.
no pimp hats.
Yeah. Nope. Hey, the guy in our opening match was.
Yeah, true.
But Savio.
Sadio, CN.
Savio father.
Savio Father.
Sorry, guys, if you weren't watching the pay-per-view tonight, we had a debut. Where were we?
Andrade Cien Almas.
Yes. I'm sorry, Savio Fogger.
Savio Father. The Savio. We were at
I
Savio
call him
Father.
Savio Fogger.
So we had to step out for a second, guys.
Sorry, but ACA made his debut tonight.
We'll call him ACA.
Yep, so I don't have to keep saying his name.
And Sermano.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's very new.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about him.
We're just going to call him ACA.
I know he was a mask guy in AAA, one of the top stars.
He definitely looked like a mix between The Godfather and Savio Vega.
The character sucks. He has suspenders. He looks like Savio.
The work? Holy shit.
Just not digging the Lost Bariquas.
No, the Lost Bariquas.
The work.
Godfather stuff.
But hopefully he doesn't end up like, in your opinion, Apollo Crews.
But his match with Kyle Dillinger?
Ty Dillinger.
Ty Dillinger, sorry.
10.
Yeah, 10. I know, the perfect 10. Who never wins.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you grade people, but
he's jobber. He's NXT jobber. So Andrade Cien Almas. Did I do it?
Yeah.
Woo.
Twice.
Rusev?
Rusev.
I did it. Huh.
ACA.
ACA.
He gets the win.
I don't like saying it because ACA.
Have you seen his finisher?
Yes, that was
the double knees in the corner there.
And did you see where he did a moonsault?
Yeah, he did the moonsault.
Did another one.
And then did another one.
Great AAA star. Hopefully, it doesn't end up like Sin
And
Cara.
how he likes to do like a handstand on the turnbuckles there. Yeah, I think he could definitely be. Could you imagine him and Nakamura having a match in NXT because they're both former Japan guys?
I'm sure it's coming in the future.
That would be pretty cool.
Oh,
I would enjoy. I don't know if I would enjoy the lead up. I mean, what kind of build up are you gonna have? Neither one of them really talks.
Yeah, he was also in New Japan. So.
Yeah, I mean, neither one of them really talks. You know, you're gonna get great ring work from him.
Shinsuke talks, but he just needs to get his English a little better.
My name is Shinsuke.
Do that one more time. Let's Slam Pig's Pocket.
My name is Shinsuke.
Oh, it was better the first time.
Sorry. But
I will beat you. Yes. I can't. Sorry.
Yeah. Now you sound. Who did you just sound like?
Mr. Fuji. I sound like Mr. Fuji. I feel like I channeled out Fuji. Who's still alive? Shout out to Mr. Fuji. Maybe we'll get a Fuji promo on here if there's time.
Why?
Because my
Yokozuna.
I was gonna say my demolition.
It's always his. He's always a selfish prick.
If he manages you, you belong.
It's
there.
his Yokozuna.
He's got
it's his demolition.
He's got a chore list for you. You're gonna go
mean,
to the store.
Thank God you weren't managed by him. You'd have been his Travis.
My Slam Pig podcast.
Yeah.
Man, I gotta contact Mr. Fuji somehow on social media and get him to do an intro.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
You're listening to My Slam Pig podcast on Hibiki TMD. Mine too.
Well, he won't have a problem saying Hibiki TMD.
Did you like your Fuji with the bowler hat and the stick, the cane, or did you like my Yokozuna Fuji?
With the robe and the flag?
Yeah. The bare feet. The bare Fuji footsies.
Oh. I liked it better with Demolition. I always thought the cane and the hat.
The little two-faced.
Yes.
Went from NXT to Mr. Fuji. Only on the Slam Pigs podcast will that happen.
That happens a lot.
Hey.
I mean, not with Mr. Fuji, but with
could be
certain
anybody.
people.
Paul Roma could be on the hit list.
We already did that. Yep. That was actually one of our matches of the week. You had a Power and Glory match.
Did I?
Yeah, you did a tag match with them.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
When was that?
You
what
have
episode
to go back
was that?
and listen to one of the episodes.
Oh, Jesus, we're getting up there. I'm forgetting things.
Yeah.
I used to be on it, remembering stuff.
Because you even called him Pretty Paul Roma.
Pretty Paul Roma.
Yep. But
Was it Power and Glory versus the Rockers at SummerSlam 90?
That's what you said.
I don't think I did that match.
Yeah,
I really don't.
You did.
Jesus God.
Trust and believe.
Well, Nakamura and Aries, I mean, we didn't really talk. What did you think about the actual match?
B.
You give your opinion. B?
B+.
I'd give it an A-. I thought it was phenomenal.
I don't
Just
know.
so much good wrestling on the
It's
show.
it's hard. I can't give it an A without, like, anticipation crowd reaction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just... if you're going to get an A from me...
Well, I
it's
didn't.
gonna
I
be,
said A-.
Yeah, I mean,
I
any
didn't
kind
say
of
A.
A. Any kind of A from me.
Just the letter A.
Yeah, you're going to have to have...
AJ Styles.
You're going to have more crowd reaction than that. I mean, yeah, the crowd was hot for Shinsuke.
They always are.
But, once again, we go back to... He got built up as a son of a bitch, and people knew who he was.
I think this goes full circle talking about the face in the face thing.
Yeah. Well, I don't agree with that either. I don't think Austin Aries has ever been known as a babyface.
That's what I'm saying, though.
So, if he was a more legendary babyface, that could have been different. But
Just
like
heel,
I said,
heel Aries is the best.
the reason it didn't go over well is because Austin Aries didn't get that build up like Shinsuke did. Like Austin Aries was just like, oh my God, it's Austin Aries, and then they put him with Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of all the guys,
Shinsuke gets a month-long build-up, and he gets to wrestle Sami Zayn in his first match.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is that really fair? Were they ever on the same level
I'm on board.
as baby faces? So,
just sometimes the booking's so frustrating in wrestling. All promotions, it's always been that way.
great match, though. I will give you that. I did watch the match. I mean, I thought
stiffest match of the night.
thought there was maybe too many rest holds in the match for my liking, but all in all, it was a really good match. You could be a little iffy with those rest holds in matches, you know what I mean? It's all about when you put them in there. I think they were a little off base in some of the rest holds.
Some of those Nakamura kicks, though.
Oh, yeah, they're stiff.
And the knees and the... Ooh.
Austin Aries got in some good stuff,
And
too.
then you scream gimmick infringement for the knees. You got your steel-plated knee when Michael was a wrestler. That was his finish, the Dallas knee, but we don't need to get into that.
I don't need to talk about my past.
Next up on NXT TakeOver, we covered the opener already. We had American Alpha and the Revival. Sorry, I lost a little bit
For
there.
your tag belts.
Big shocker. The Revival gets the win clean, and I thought Chad...
Yeah.
But you knew more about this than I do. Obviously, they're getting called up.
There's been rumors the past week or so that American Alpha is going to be getting called up to the main roster right around draft time. So this could make more sense. They'll have their rubber match, and that'll lead right into American Alpha. Bam. That's what I've been told. American Alpha is, for some reason, getting called up already.
One of your sources?
I got some sources. I mean, I don't want to disclose them on here because I'm a broadcast journalist and I don't disclose my sources.
Not Paulie Walnuts or Tony Bag of Donuts?
No,
or none of those.
Ricky Morton.
Oh, damn.
Nope.
He's usually spot on.
He is when he's not high.
Old Peanut Butter Wolf himself. Ricky Morton.
Old super mullet.
That was super. Him or Crush? Best mullet.
Ooh.
You guys, let us know this one. Who had the best mullet in the history of wrestling?
Oh.
Crush or Ricky Morton?
See, if we were fans of this show, that's the kind of question we would send in.
Oh my God. This
Who
would be
had
my
the best
favorite
mullet
show.
ever?
This would be my favorite show if I was with you guys.
I almost want to go on one of the other podcasts that I listen to and put that in as a question.
I think somebody is bound to answer that, but we're going to do it first.
We could have like a top 10 on that.
I think Crush's flowed more better in the back.
That's your all-time favorite
No,
mullet?
but I was going to say Ricky Morton's was like that mix of Kentucky Waterfall and Porcupine.
Oh my
Like
God.
that shit was just like open for business.
There's
Like,
so many good mullets.
that's got Magnum TA had a phenomenal.
Oh,
Good Lord.
that was a mullet.
I feel like there should be an episode, a
Red
segment
Rooster.
every week. This week's mullet of the week. We talk about the authenticity of the mullet, the way the wind resistance.
The trajectory of the hair on certain moves.
I tell you what, Kurt Henning's mullet doesn't get talked
That
about
was a
a
hell
lot.
of a mullet. It was
Especially
curly mullet.
with
That was
the
the AC.
ponytail
Yeah, that was
and
the
the little-
that was the AC Slater mullet
Oh yeah,
from Saved by the Bell,
great mullet.
an American show.
Shane Douglas got mentioned earlier. He had a great mullet as one of the dynamic
There's
dudes.
so many good mullets.
Going off the rails with the mullets, actually. Let's
We
get
can
back.
go on and on.
They just
about
keep
mullets.
coming to me. I'm telling
We
you.
get so sidetracked on these shows.
Jimmy Del Rey, he had a jiggly mullet.
Ooh,
A ginger
we need to
jiggly
get back on
mullet.
topic. Talking about the tag team title match.
A lot of people said this was the match of the night. I think it's right up there. One of the best tag matches I've seen in a long time. I mean, I'm fine with the finish, especially if that means Alpha's coming up to the main roster. I'm a big Alpha fan. I like the Revival a lot. I know you think they're a little...
Plus, you don't. The thing I liked about this is you got the shock factor because how many times do you see like a tag team come up through the division and win the belts clean,
And then they lose them a
and
month.
then they lose them right back to the team that beat them? You know what I mean? Besides Marty Jannetty and 1-2-3 Kid, yep, I remember that Quebecers, but it's just one of
More
those.
phenomenal mullets. All the
Yep.
Jesus.
1-2-3 Kid had a hell of a mullet. So did Bob Holly.
There was a big rib on the 1-2-3 Kid. I know you wanted to get back on track, but this is too good. I don't know if you've heard this one. Remember the original WWF? Well, not the original, but like the '90s figures. Were like on the packages they had. I'm gonna put a picture up on the podcast so you guys can see what I'm talking about too. How they had like the picture in the background in the packaging.
Yeah.
Somebody pulled a ribbon and shaved his eyebrows. So in the picture he has no eyebrows. And there's like on that Best of Raw DVD in the early Raws, he has no eyebrow. It's hilarious. With the mullet on top of it. And the original 1, 2, 3 cut kid tights were awful when they were blue and it just like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
It looked like alphabet soup on his tights. It did. But
American Alphabet Soup. Sorry.
like I said, you got a gift for that shit. Back to American Alpha.
Yep.
Bet soup.
That's what your new name is.
Love it.
Just named on the Slam Pigs podcast.
American Alphabet Soup, not successful in retaining their titles.
No, they lost clean
To the Revival.
to the team that they beat clean.
Yeah.
So, but this is babyface versus heel tag team. That's why I thought it was entertaining. Because this is actually a rivalry now. Like, they both have won. They both won clean. There's no controversy. They have to have a third match to see who's better.
Yep.
You don't need any kind of
A send-off
storyline. You don't need any storyline with this because it's already been built just by them wrestling.
Should the rubber match in NXT pretty much be called the send-off match? Because it seems like the
With
rubber
any
match...
big rivalry, yeah.
Well, I mean, like that talent goes to the main roster, though. That's
Yeah.
why I say that.
Well, unfortunately, you can't send both.
You could. They did that with the Vaudevillains and Enzo and Cavs. But how's
but
that working out
neither
for the
one of
Vaudevillains?
them. Neither one of those were the champions at the time. This is for the belts.
Yeah.
So you can't just send your champions up there.
Yeah.
Because then it makes it predictable. Well, they're losing the belt soon.
Well, they sent Kevin Owens up there as the champion.
Yeah, but then he came back and...
He did both.
Yeah.
And he never left the main roster.
Yeah, but then he lost it. His
Yeah.
NXT belt.
You mean to keep the belt instead?
Yeah.
For a long time?
Yeah.
That wouldn't happen. That make no sense.
But I wish it would. I'm hoping with the brand split here that maybe you get some more, maybe you get some NXT on those shows.
Yeah. The cruiserweights are coming back to NXT. There's a big worldwide cruiserweight tournament coming up.
So a bunch of people I've never heard of.
Well, obviously I've heard a lot of them because
I mean, I don't know. Who's
I'm
gonna
that
be in
level of wrestling.
It. I mean,
nerd.
I'm not gonna. I don't know anybody that's in it. So
Zack Sabre Jr. is rumored to win it.
okay.
Great talent. British wrestler.
Right.
Great talent.
Obviously, he won't last.
So we'll see what happens. So shout out to the Ricochet Will Ospreay match. I can't pronounce his name. Another British guy. Match of the year I've seen so far. It
How does he
happened.
speak on a microphone?
It's not bad. I mean, he's not awful. I haven't seen enough of him.
Okay.
Jeez.
How's
Well-
Neville on a microphone?
Well, that's a whole other. story.
How's William Regal on a microphone?
Oh, he's fantastic.
You love Manga and Triple H.
I love when he said guys' names wrong. Like when Jericho would do it. When he was like Mike Henry. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Kurt Angel.
yeah, but he did it to be a smartass. William Regal was doing it because he can't speak properly, because he's British.
I think he said Yamango on purpose to be a
No.
smartass.
No,
Triple H.
no, I don't think that was the case at all.
Like you said, a big shock. The Revival, new champs. Awesome tag team match. The best tag team match I've seen all year. But like I said, that Ricochet match, to get back on that, unbelievable. You got to check that out. New Japan actually has it up on their YouTube channel to watch. It's like
Thanks
20
for letting our
something.
listeners know where they can find it. New Japan.
I can't put it on my channel.
Well, no,
Copyright
I'm just saying, because what if there was people out there that didn't know either one of those two and where they would find this match?
Well, oh, so you're actually thanking me.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
yeah.
So that was TakeOver. The end. The end. They should have had Porky Pig come out at the end and say, that's all, folks. I don't know. That was bad.
Glad they did.
Great show again. TakeOver's never disappointed.
B plus.
honestly. Solid B plus for me, too. Maybe a borderline A minus. But that
Nice.
women's match kind of just,
He's more generous than I am.
as usual.
So, but B plus for me. Great pay per view. Does that lead us into our final question of the evening?
Perfectly leads us into it because it's an NXT question. Sent to us literally like a little while after the show tonight from Sasha Janine, your favorite fan.
She's back again.
Thank you, Sasha, so much. She wanted to know our thoughts on NXT. Obviously, we just answered that on the show. So it was a good show, B+, Sasha. Who are our favorite stars in NXT? It says
Now-
stars.
Yeah, so we can pick two.
Let's do two.
All right. Age before beauty. Go ahead.
Shinsuke Nakamura, Samoa Joe. Are we in agreement on this?
I'm going to go my favorite NXT stars.
I mean, we can agree and just breeze through it.
My favorite NXT stars, I'm going to go with... I'll go with two different ones. Since you picked two that I like, I'll pick two other ones.
Nothing wrong with being on the same team.
Yeah, but she wants to hear...
She wants to hear our honest answer. If that was your answer.
Well, I don't know. There's a bunch of guys you could pick for this.
Okay, let's do B Squad.
My question for her is this of all time or right now? That's what I should have asked her back. But if we're picking right now...
I think it said who are your current favorite. It just said stars. That's why I wasn't sure.
Okay. Well, then my two right now would be...
Like some Gable?
I like Austin Aries.
Okay.
And I like... Asuka.
Fair enough. All four great picks. I mean, number one draft for my...
And since you're a lady Sasha, I got a lady in there.
There you go. And your lady on top of it. Asuka herself.
I love me some Asuka.
Thank you so much, Sasha. Thank you guys for every week you send in questions. Doesn't matter who you are.
Imagine that tag team.
Asuka and Sasha.
Yeah.
Kind of rolls off.
Flows right off the tongue, doesn't it?
I can see that happen.
Sasha, I think you should make an appearance on NXT.
I thought you meant Sasha Banks. Sorry.
Sasha Janine.
I didn't know she was a worker. Sasha, are you a wrestler? You seem to know a lot about wrestling, so it's... Maybe she's an indie female wrestler and she listens to our shit when she's working out in the ring. That'd be fucking awesome.
That'd be sweet.
I'd love to have her on if she's a wrestler.
Yeah. Sasha, you could be a special guest on here that I actually like.
Are you going to start? We're at the tail end of the show and you're going to start.
Just throwing it out there. I mean, I didn't really know Frost that well, but, I mean, where's he been?
Frost has a baby on the way, like I said before.
He makes
Shout out to Frost.
He makes, some appearances on the show.
He's made one.
He makes one. Before he made his famous appearance
on
the show.
He called off work to do our show.
Yeah, but have we heard anything from him since?
I talk to him all the time on Twitter, just not about really the show.
Does he ever ask us questions? Comment on the show?
He did last week, our favorite wrestling video game.
Okay, well, I need more from him.
All right. Hopefully next week we hear from you. I'm not going to be pushy like Michael over here. Jesus. Will you have a Diet Coke and calm down?
I can't.
Nelson?
I'm pumped up. God help me.
Lex. maybe that'll help you calm down if you Lex it.
No.
You want to let them know what Lexing it is?
No, we don't need to let them know.
Thank you again, Sasha. Make sure to hit that like button.
I want to flex my pecs.
Can I get that?
Because I'm Lex.
Express.
Flexing pecs like Lex.
Lee
Say that 3 times
Remember,
fast.
Lee wasn't a big fan of WrestleMania 9 and the Express. The whole Lex Express. Remember?
WrestleMania 9 was before the Lex Express.
No, I'm saying he hated 93, remember?
Yeah, well, he's British.
Anyway, match of the week time.
We all know they're stupid.
Do you want to go promo break? You want to dibble-dabble in some more mullets maybe? A little off the handles and then match of the week? We only got one promo break.
Can we do a push or de-push this week on mullets? If you push that mullet or don't push it.
How about just the mullet segment? How about just the top 3 favorite mullet segment?
Let's do that after our next promo break.
Who is going to be from Michael?
Ooh, right on the spot. Well, let's go from the Lex Express. This week's promo of the week comes from the Lex Express himself, Lex Luger.
Can I make it when he debuted at the Rumble?
No.
No?
Because then you're
look
going to
Look at it.
That's a long one.
What? Okay.
Or do you want you some WCW, Lex?
See, when I pick a promo, you always get to say, well, is it Sid Vicious or John? No, I'm going to tell you it's going to be Made in the USA, Lex Luger.
All right.
On the
Slam Pigs podcast.
We'll be right back.
Earlier today, here's what he had to say.
The year 1994 is over and done with. History. Yesterday's news. What I want to talk about is the here and now. 1995. And what it starts out with is the Royal Rumble. What separates the men from the boys. The pretenders from the contenders. You know what? I'm a little sick and tired of being a contender here in the World Wrestling Federation. It's time to me to fulfill my destiny here and become a champion. And it starts right here and now. 1995, I will not be denied. It is the year of the man made in the USA, Lex Luger.
And that was the man made in the USA, Lex Luger. On the Slam Pigs podcast, we're back, Travis. That was our final promo break of the evening.
What a show it's been.
Hell of a promo.
Oh, hell of a...
Definitely memorable for me.
God, he was so jacked. And
He was amped up. You think he was at an all-time steroid high at that point?
Who eliminated him in that Rumble? Owen? No,
No,
Owen.
Sean.
Owen
Yeah.
got thrown out in like 2 seconds.
Or it was Sean and Crush that eliminated him.
Okay. He was like Final Four with,
Yeah.
with Dickie Murdoch.
No, Final Four was Davey Boy, Sean, Crush, and Lex.
Murdoch made it to like 5th, I think.
Fifth or sixth. Yeah, he got eliminated. He eliminated Henry Godwin, and then he got eliminated by somebody.
That's another thing I remember off the top of my head when Dick Murdoch came out.
Yeah. There's Dickie Murdoch.
Yeah. Oh, man. 95 again on the Slam Pigs podcast.
That's how deep the talent pool was. You had Dick Murdoch and Henry Godwin in your final six.
No, he came out and Vince was like, how about that, Dick? I don't know.
Yeah, he's 87 years old.
And then they talked about Bob Backlund was 43 years old for like 2 years.
Yeah.
They never changed his age. Do you know what
No, hey, he's forever young.
He went to forever.
That's an American song.
Hey, make Darren Young great again. Bob Backlund is back on Raw. We forgot to talk about Bob Backlund being on Raw.
When was Darren Young great?
Yeesh.
That's why I don't get the whole thing. Like, isn't that what all fans are saying right now? When was he great?
I think it's supposed to be like a
Yeah, it's
comedy.
supposed to be a joke.
Yeah.
But Backlund and him are probably like, yeah, this is our chance.
Bob Backlund was a great guy. We met him backstage at SmackDown. We were going to get refreshments, and there's Bobby Backlund just
Yep.
standing around,
Yep.
charging for pictures. We just went up and talked to the man.
Yeah.
As people, not
I
as
didn't
fans.
want a picture when I saw you over there. I was like, oh, that's Bob.
No,
Backlund.
that's right. I went up and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah I told him, hey, that's my friend, my brother over there. So
We were actually pretty sizable compared to him, and he used to be your champion for 5 years.
he's pushing 70. You shrink.
I'm
when
talking
you
about like, he's what 6 foot tall? Say he's same height as me. I know that.
something like that.
Stature wise, he wasn't much bigger than me. I don't think he was bigger than me. I think I was bigger than him. But I mean,
Michael.
back in his day, he was about 230,
Yeah.
and he was your
He was Diesel.
he was
back
your
in the day.
WWF champion for what 5 years?
Something like that.
So
He beat Superstar Billy Graham and
79 to 83. So
famous throw in the towel.
yeah, he
With the Iron
lost to
Cheeky
Cheeky Baby. Yep,
In stereo, Slam Pigs podcast.
he made him humble.
Michael, what are the top 3 mullets in the history of wrestling?
Oh,
Number 3.
you can't just do that.
You want me to go first? Because I've been thinking of my list.
Well, do we have to do them in order, or can we just pick 3?
Okay, pick 3.
Okay, I'll pick one, then you pick one.
And what?
We're not allowed to have the same one.
All
You
right.
have to have 3, and I have to have 3. I'm going. My
Ooh,
first,
that makes it.
yeah,
Well, there's
my-
a lot of mullets.
My first mullet pick. it's
They
gonna
have
be.
picks for their mullets.
It's gonna be Razor Ramon. That was a hell of a mullet for me.
Slimy mullet.
Yeah,
Slimy.
it was very wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a wet mullet.
And he had a curly Q.
Yeah, he had, yeah.
One single Superman.
And when the
curly.
match got far along, he had the curlies up front. Yeah, he had the poodle in the front and party in the back.
When the match went long, he had like the 17th century pompadour hair.
Yeah, that's what
All
I'm talking
poofy.
about.
Great one to start off the. Am I up next?
Yeah,
or
you're up.
Or are you just gonna straight shoot yours?
No, your turn.
Hmm.
I can't just pick 3
So
mullets.
many options.
Yeah.
So many options. You're right. When you're put on the spot.
Your first mullet pick. Do you need a drum roll?
Sure.
All right.
Sid Vicious.
Ooh,
That was
that's a good one.
like
Yeah.
a great willow tree. The way it magnificently spread at the bottom.
So the thing I love about this segment is Travis is going to have a description of all these mullets, and he's going to show pictures of them on this podcast, so that you can really get the true feel.
It looked like the tree that Forrest buried Jenny under.
Oh.
It just flowed out and looked like so heavenly.
I thought it was a little short for my taste.
No, I'm talking justice. I said vicious, but I meant justice.
Oh, okay.
When it was served under the willow trees.
All right.
Number 2.
Oh, my number 2 mullet pick.
Top willow trees.
Whew.
Good luck.
Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Ooh.
Didn't think about that mullet, did you?
That's a mullet that gets off the radar.
And he had that thing well done, like Timothy Well and Stephen.
Yeah.
Like it was.
They
He had it
mullets, I think,
perfectly
too.
combed in the back. Yeah.
It looked like
nice.
a sprinkler in the front.
Yeah.
Especially when he was in rhythm and blues, he
Oh.
went all Razor Ramon about it.
Yeah,
he
he
got
did.
it a little slimy.
Are
Honky
you
Tonk Man
gonna
has
have
a.
pictures of both those mullets on there?
I sure will. Only for us and only for you guys on the Slam Pigs podcast.
That's right. So your number 2 mullet.
Well, I was
pick.
going to say Honky Tonk Man now has an Elvis mullet. He's got a long ponytail in the back, but he's still honky in the
Yeah,
front.
that doesn't count
I'm just saying.
Can't use
Honorable
that.
mention to the Honky Tonk Man's mullet.
for his latest. Never had one when he worked. But
I'm on deck.
seems like he's backwards. You're up. Number 2 mullet pick. Come on, you think of some mullets that you remember the most.
I don't want to say ones we said earlier, like Crush or, you know what I mean? Give me a second. I know there's dead air right now. Sorry, guys. Don't tune out yet.
My ass is hanging on the air right now. A little Ranch Wilder for you.
Waylon Mercy. And you know why I say Waylon
Oh.
Mercy? Talk about overlooked mullets.
Oh.
That was like a dog shag skull. Like just enough to keep the poodle warm.
Ugh.
But in the front, it's kind of cold.
Ugh.
Waylon Mercy. Have mercy.
Well, I guess for my last pick, since we're on the topic of skullets, how could you forget this skullet?
The all-time greatest
Hulk
skullet.
Hogan.
The all-time greatest skullet.
That is absolutely right. Think of Hulk Hogan. Was that or was that not a skullet?
It's a pretty bad one.
Especially in WCW days. That was a hell of a skullet.
My turn?
Your last mullet pick.
Just came to me. I don't know how this didn't come to either of us sooner. The rosy red mullet itself. Debuted in 1990. It was on a very large man. The Undertaker's original look. The rosy red. It looked like roses in the back.
You think of flowers when you think of that, huh?
His mullet just bloomed so well. Honorable mentions, Shawn Michaels' 92 mullet. That was a hell of a mullet.
That's a good mullet.
Sideburns past his ear.
Oh, yeah.
Someone call that the elevator mullet. Man. Jesus.
So many good mullets.
Well, there you have it, guys. There's our mullet list. Glad you enjoyed it.
Hope you guys enjoyed that impromptu segment.
It's time for our match of the week. And it's Michael's turn. Yeah, I forgot about thinking about mullets all that time. You forgot about your match.
Sorry.
Why don't you use a guy on the mullet list?
Get excited.
What's this week's match of the week?
This week's match of the week comes from Raw 1000.
Ooh,
Your main event of the evening, CM Punk versus John Cena.
really?
For the belt. John Cena cashed in his Money in the Bank.
Very interesting.
And he
pick.
told him up front, what? I actually thought it was actually pretty memorable for me because I have the 1000 DVD and I actually thought it was a pretty good match. Since we were on the topic of CM Punk earlier and we brought John Cena up, I thought I'd bring this match up just for significance to the show and what's on the top of my head because that's how I picked it. That's how we usually pick these matches, guys. We don't really have time ahead to think of it. We just kind of go bam. So, basically, John Cena announced a week prior that he was going to cash in his Money in the Bank at Raw 1000. The champion at the time was CM Punk. He was in the middle of his reign. But CM Punk's your champ. He comes in there, goes against John Cena, who's cashing in the Money in the Bank, which I'm pretty sure at that point had never been not cashed in successfully. I think he was the first one to not successfully cash that in. So you figured John Cena was going to win this, and with The Rock already being out there earlier in the night, if you remember the show, he announced that he was going to be wrestling the winner at the Royal Rumble. So you figured it was going to be Cena and The Rock at Royal Rumble. instead of WrestleMania for some reason, which they had already planned. But anyway, CM Punk gets the win via disqualification because of Big Show's interference in the match. That's the way it went. John Cena gets beat in the ring. Disqualification. The winner is John Cena, but the champ retains. CM Punk is still your champ. And then you have The Rock coming out as Big Show's beating up on John Cena. And you think, The Rock's coming out to save John Cena. And then bam, right in the middle of the people's elbow, here comes CM Punk. Gets back in the ring, knocks The Rock out, and that's how the show ended on Raw 1000. That's my match of the week.
The heel turn that started the Paul Heyman alliance. It was a great pick out of nowhere. I thought you were going to go more classic, but good pick. Well, I don't think we've had a modern one, so there you go.
Well, I figure we get a little one-dimensional sometimes. We like to do a lot of 90s stuff.
Good point.
So I figured I'd bring in something a little newer.
No bologna sandwiches promos this week.
No bolognas.
Well, that's going to about do it for us this week, guys. Great show. Great NXT show tonight. Always a blast to have you here, Michael. Good to talk about some Mullets, some Rusev, all kinds of stuff.
Our next show, Travis, is got to be our prediction show. Our Raw review next week / prediction show.
No, I think we're about 2 weeks out. I'm pretty sure.
No, next week is...
You're right.
Sure the last Raw before...
Okay.
Yeah. So, we're going to do a Raw review / Money in the Bank prediction show. So make sure you stay tuned for that, guys. Thanks again, always, for your questions, comments. Thanks for joining the Slam Pigs Nation. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
All over the place.
We're everywhere.
We're getting there.
We're like herpes right now.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you again, Michael, for signing off. Thanks for joining us on the Slam Pigs podcast on Hibiki TMD. Hit that like, subscribe, comment. Feel free. We're the most interactive pro wrestling show on the internet. We like to think we're the Slam Pigs podcast. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great week.
This is Slam Pigs Podcast.
Hey guys, you can follow me on Twitter at the Hibiki TMD. Check out the Hibiki TMD Facebook group for everything retro gaming, pro wrestling podcasts, and everything in between. Thanks for watching another video, and thanks for stopping by on Hibiki TMD.
Hey, what is going on?